this terminology of hooking up. And now women are doing what they call hooking up, and it's going from the young professionals to, you know, to the standard professionals in the workforce. And I know there has to be a psychological or social aspect of this that that is the precursor behind these actions.
Absolutely.
And, could you elaborate on that?
Sure. I want to start off by making a statement. We can have a revolution without a big change in people's behavior. And so we talk about the sexual revolution, but we don't realize that means that a lot of things actually changed after that revolution. And one of the things that changed is that women's sexuality was released. Before this time, they didn't even know if women had an orgasm. And so now women are able to claim sexual partners, or they're able to decide when they're going to, you know, engage. And hooking up is not new, but it is becoming more common. It's a phenomena where the young girls are simply engaging in casual relationships. And they're, in essence, acting like boys. You know what I mean? And so they are not supposedly becoming attached. They don't really care if the person calls them back. However, the research is showing that that's not accurate. The young women actually do care. And this hooking up is causing some psychological problems, because even though they pretend that it's okay that the person doesn't call, in reality it makes them feel badly about themselves. And so there have been several psychologists that have been studying these women, and they find that they are really trying to do something that is difficult, because they're trying to engage in these relationships. And we know women are taught to be emotional, women are taught to make strong social bonds. But here it is, you're supposed to go and be intimate and act like it's okay. And they're finding that's not working.
Now, I know that sometimes you refer to California as the left coast. And many of these things start in California and drift across the rest of the United States. Are you finding that this is becoming more of a challenge in California, number one? And what groups are we talking about? Are we talking about high school, college, young professionals? Help me.
We're talking about all of it. And it's not just California. When I was at school, I did counseling and worked with young girls, and it was a fad to have multiple partners and to not care. You know, I always thought people send their kids to college if they only knew sometimes, you know, but it's not. It's actually across the board. And it's happening with increasingly younger and younger girls as younger and younger girls begin to have sex earlier.
Is there a void that they're trying to fill, or is this kind of like an anarchy or a backlash to what society has suppressed them for all these years?
I think,
in the sexual sense.
I think it's both. And look at what the media, the videos, all of those things do not portray long-term committed relationships. And so we're setting it up for our kids where it's not even an expectation. You know, you're not supposed to care if they call you back. So I don't know what void, but if you look at how we are constructing our society, we're actually suggesting to kids that this is the norm. Well, and I wanted to mention one thing, and I have it written here. It's oxytocin. And this is this helps women bond with babies when breastfeeding. Well, you also produce it a little bit during sex. And what they're finding is that this actually causes women to want to form deeper bonds. And so they're actually acting outside of, in a way, their own biology.
Biological urges.
Simply because the sex in the society has been revolutionized. And so it really does relate. It's impacting them physically, and it is impacting them psychologically, emotionally.